Just basic grammar. That's amazing. That's a gift that I don't have, but a gift that she has. And I know many of you can speak multiple languages as well. So, Xianyun, Jie, and Angie, and Alyssa are going to come up and speak to say this passage in Chinese and Korean and Spanish and Arabic here this morning. So, and I invite you to both listen with your ears and read with your eyes as they speak to you this morning.
就如身子是一个，却有许多肢体，而且肢体虽多，仍是一个身子。基督也是这样。我们不拘是犹太人，是希利尼人，是为奴的，是自由的，都从一位圣灵受洗，成了一个身体，隐于一位圣灵。
몸은 지체뿐이 아니요 여럿이니 만일 발이 이르되 나는 손이 아닌 몸을 붙지 아니하였다 할지라도 이로 인하여 몸이 붙지 아니한 것이 아니요 또 귀가 이르되 나는 눈이 아니니 몸에 붙지 아니하였다 할지라도 이로 인하여 몸에 붙지 아니한 것이 아니니 만일 온 몸이 눈이면 듣는 것이 어디며 온몸이 듣는 것이며 냄새 맡는 것은 어디며
Pero Dios colocó los miembros del cuerpo como mejor le pareció. Qué extraño que sería que el cuerpo tuviera un solo miembro. Pero Dios lo hizo con miembros diversos que en conjunto forman el cuerpo. El ojo jamás podría decirle a la mano, no te necesito, ni la cabeza puede decirle a los pies, no te necesito. Al contrario, los miembros del cuerpo que parecen más débiles son los más necesarios. Y a los menos importantes los tratamos con más cuidado y con esmero tratamos a los que no deben exhibirse.
لكن الله مزج الجسد معطيا للناقص كرامة أفضل لكي لا يكون انشقاق في الجسد بل تهتم الأعضاء اهتماما واحدا بعضها لبعض فإن كان عضو واحد يتألم فجميع الأعضاء تتألم معا وإن كان عضو واحد يكرم فجميع الأعضاء تفرح معا.
Thank you so much. We are one body with many parts. We come here today grounded in the gratitude to again have this opportunity to be here. Thank you for making the choice to show up again today. And thank you yesterday for naming what you bring to the body. It was awesome yesterday to watch so many of you playing sports yesterday evening. And also badminton and phys ed class. There was tennis going on, field hockey, volleyball, soccer. It was amazing. Kayaking I saw as well. So y'all are staying on the move. This is amazing. Here are some of your gifts that you named that you can bring. Eating too fast. I'm a big picture thinker. I guess that my burden could be my disease, but I can use that to help other kids with diseases. I'm awesome at video games. Definitely, we need some video games for peace. I have a great work ethic. I get the job done. I can play basketball. Another crane. My knowledge of politics. Being cool. Empathetic and empathizing with others. Making money. Soy muy buena con los niños. Caretaking of children. Gentleness. Problem solving. My gift is actually being shy and observing the world around me. Eating my mom's spaghetti. See, See, if you teamed up with a money-making person, then y'all can have a fundraiser to support something. And your mom, of course, would make the spaghetti. Let's see. Organizing. I'm willing to always take risks for the adventure. Mentoring. Being myself and teaching others what I know well. Respect. I'm a free thinker. I can curl hair in under 10 minutes. So many skills. I love to meet people and make them laugh. So here we are, overflowing with gifts and talents. A desire to serve our broader spiritual body with ease. Where can we serve? Where might our gifts best be used? They are used in the place that brings us joy. And out of that joy we have the power to meet the pain that exists. I remember what I learned from spraining my ankle playing soccer at Bethany, my first year. I was so excited. First year starting varsity lineup, center midfield. Ready to go. We were a great team. But I just ran for the ball once and click. I went down. My ankle was seriously sprained. I thought, no, I could just work through it, I could push through. But no, actually, my ankle was hurt and it made me stop. The doctor gave me some advice. He said, rice. Oh, I learned that was rest, ice, compression, elevation. Rice. So I had to literally stop for a while and take care of that area of my body that was suffering. And that idea even, resting my body, bringing ice to it, compressing it, and elevating it, I realized can even work for the metaphor of our broader body. If you just keep going, you will injure yourself more, and if you just push through when either you're not doing well or where another person is in pain, it will cause more pain and maybe permanent damage. So you want to pay attention and rest and stop. Ice. So in that case, ice helps to reduce the inflammation. And in some cases though, you need to use heat. Like if you have cramps or something, you want to bring heat to the area to bring the blood. So adjusting the temperature. Sometimes in a scenario, you need to help cool it down a little bit to de-escalate. In others, you have to bring the heat. You have to stand up to a bully. You have to confront somehow. You are a thermostat, not a thermometer. You set where things will be at, not just show what the temperature is. Compression. What compression helps to do it's like what surrounds with protection an area that's hurting. And when people are hurting, or when there's a scenario where there's a natural disaster, for example, people bring blankets, they bring things that help surround people. They put plywood on windows, things like that actually compress and make sure that the more fragile area can be held together. This is saying we protect one another. If someone's being picked on, one of the main things you can do without even saying anything is to be that compression. You can come and stand by them. And elevation. I had to elevate my ankle because that way the blood could get to it easier. And the blood is that lifeblood is what helps us to heal, because the blood carries the healing nutrients and it also carries away that which is unhealthy. Right? And so, in our scenarios, sometimes we need to elevate those voices who we haven't heard because they are bringing to us a new idea or something that has not come to the table yet. And we need to step back if it's our voice that is often dominant or heard more. Last year, in your Spiritual Life Emphasis Week, Chantel, Todd, and Moore talked about this as putting the vulnerable at the center and then marginalizing what is often dominant. This is the same idea of elevation. I'm glad that I took that rest when my ankle was seriously sprained. Because even though I thought that 3 weeks off would never end, it allowed me to heal and allowed my ankle to become strong again so that I could go on to still, to this day, having the all-time assist record at my school for soccer and other athletic records. I was looking at those records last night. Y'all are awesome. That's right, we keep excelling. And that doesn't mean always pushing through. It means when it's time to take a rest, we rest. When it's time to adjust, we adjust. When it's time to protect one another or call for when we need others to help protect us with their words of encouragement, or for them to be beside us when we go through a hard time, we ask for that. And elevation, where we try to elevate our consciousness to recognize whose voice is not being heard now. How can we hear that? With this, we can be confident that our bodies will heal and that God is with us as we continue to bring healing to our bodies. We need to bring the healing at this time, both to ourselves and accept that kindness and healing, compassion from others, as well as to the broader world. We are learning things about our bodies and about the world that we never knew before, and it's an amazing time. So, here's the time for the weird facts about the body. Drum roll, please. Okay. We have learned that if a human being's DNA, that stuff in your chromosomes, if we're uncoiled, it would reach from Earth to Pluto and back in each one of your bodies. And a little bit on the grosser side, but it's real, so you gotta know it. There are more bacteria in the human mouth than there are people in the world. That's all I'm gonna say, so leave it as that. That's a lot. But you need them in order to survive, just like you need all the people in the world, too. And the largest bone in your body is the femur. And it can support up to 30 times your weight. And ounce for ounce, that is stronger than steel. Now, don't go jump on each other, but I'm just saying, this is really, really powerful. So here we are, with our amazing bodies, both fragile and resilient at the same time. If one part of the body suffers, all suffer with it. And part of our body, part of the church, and part of the world today is suffering because of what they experience with the increasing intensity of the natural disasters that are happening. Part of our body, the church is suffering today because of violence that they experience at the hands of Boko Haram in northeast Nigeria. Part of our body is suffering today because of what they saw this morning around the breakfast table, their father beat their mother. Part of us is suffering today. Part of our body is suffering today because they focused on just making money and now have too much and now need to build up security to make sure that nobody gets any of that. They are suffering from loneliness today. Part of our body is suffering from being addicted to drugs and not knowing who to talk to, who won't judge them, but also who will help them stop using substances and learn to be okay with who they are. Part of our body is suffering today because as wealth inequality gets to an extreme, it produces extreme political behavior, and we have, again, the rise of dangerous ideologies that don't want us